This is Vadim from Online Training for Everyone, and in this video I'll share with you how to pass a Mechanical Aptitude Employment Assessment Test. A Mechanical Aptitude Test is an assessment designed to measure a person's understanding of mechanical principles and their ability to apply them to various situations. Mechanical Aptitude tests typically assess several key areas. One of the areas is mechanical comprehension questions, which gauge your understanding of basic mechanical principles, such as gears, pulleys, levers, and simple machines. Candidate is presented with the diagram or scenarios, and you're being asked to identify how they work or what will happen in a given situation. Spatial reasoning questions assess your ability to mentally manipulate objects in three-dimensional space. Candidate is asked to visualize how parts fit together, identify patterns, or rotate the objects in your mind. Tools and instrument questions evaluate your familiarity with common tool and instruments used in mechanical work. Candidate is asked to identify tool by names, functions, or images. And last but not least category is mechanical problem solving. These questions present you with mechanical problems or scenarios and test your ability to analyze and solve them. You may need to determine the cause of malfunction, identify the correct sequence of actions, or choose the appropriate tool or method to fix the problem. Employers use mechanical aptitude tests to evaluate the suitability of the candidate for jobs that require mechanical knowledge and skills, such as engineering, manufacturing, automotive, and technical positions. In this video, we will walk through real sample questions step by step, so you will not only know what to expect, but also learn how to tackle each part with confidence. I'll share with you the correct answers, detailed explanation, and helpful strategies to boost your chances of passing the test. The questions appear in random order, so I recommend watching the entire video to get the most practice and insight. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Vadim Michalenko. I hold an MBA and master's degree in computer science. I've worked in the information technology field for over 20 years, and I've spent more than 15 years teaching people how to succeed in their careers. I created Online Training for Everyone and the website howtoanalyzedata.net to help people like you pass interview and assessment tests and get you hired for your dream job. If you're short on time and need to prepare quickly for a pre-employment exam, check out the premium practice materials linked in the description and comments below. Many people successfully pass their tests after using videos like this. Hopefully it will help you too. Before we jump in, make sure to click subscribe and stay updated on the latest questions. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. If you have any questions, drop them in comments. I reply to every message. And now, let's go ahead and get started. You throw 4 identical balls with the same speed, but at the different angles. Which ball will travel the farthest horizontally? Let's break it down. 30 degrees stays low. It's fast but shallow. 60 degree goes high but falls back quickly. 90 degree just goes up and drops. So the correct answer here is choice B, 45 degrees. It balances height and distance, giving the longest flight across the field. Which container, all with the same total volume, will overflow the fastest if water is poured into each one at the same rate? Take a close look at all the containers. In 3 of them, water will fill gradually. But in one container, the hole causes it to leak halfway through the fill, making it the first one to overflow in function, not in the form. So the correct answer here is choice C, a container with the hole halfway up the side. Take a close look at these 3 connected gears. If the bottom left gear, the largest one, rotates clockwise, what is the direction of the top gear, the smallest one? Each gear flips the motion of the one before it, so clockwise, counterclockwise, and clockwise again. The correct answer is choice A, clockwise. Here's the cool question for you. Which of the following movement sequences will return a shape to its original orientation? Did you get to the right answer? Reflecting a shape twice over the same line cancels the transformation. In fact, it's the only option that's put the shape right back where it began, perfectly aligned. The correct answer here is choice B, reflect twice over the same line.
A sheet of paper is folded in half 3 times. Then one hole is punched through all the layers. How many holes will appear when it's fully unfolded? Each fold doubles the layer. Picture the folds. 1 becomes 2 after the first fold. 2 becomes 4. Can you guess what 4 becomes? Now imagine hole punching through every layer. One punch equals 8 visible holes when unfolded, and the correct answer is choice D, 8. A train travels 149 miles in 3 hours and 20 minutes. What is the average speed in miles per hour? A, 44, B, 45, C, 46, or D, 50 miles per hour? To find the average speed, divide the total distance, 149 miles, by the total time in hours. 3 plus 20 divided by 60 equals 333 hours, giving approximately 44.7 miles per hour. The correct answer here is choice B, 45 miles per hour. 4 identical vessels, each containing a different amount of liquid, are all heated to the same temperature. In which vessel will the liquid cool the fastest? To answer this question, apply the principle of heat loss per unit volume. Liquids with less volume cool faster because they have less thermal mass and greater surface to area volume ratio. Since vessel D has the least amount of liquid, it will lose heat the fastest, making it cool down the quickest. So the correct answer here is choice D. Are you ready for a brain hack? Remember, practicing often can make you smarter and sharper. Let's dive into this question to supercharge your mechanical aptitude skills. 2 kids are playing on the seesaw. One child weighs twice as much as the other. The heavier child sits closer to the center. If the heavier child sits 70 inches from the center, how far should the lighter child sit to make the seesaw balanced? Your choices for the answers are choice A, 35 inches, choice B, 70 inches, choice C, 140 inches, and choice D, as close as possible. Remember, we're enhancing your skills here to make you smarter, so you need to solve this question yourself. And just like on the real test, I'll set a timer for you to solve this. Make sure to lock in your answer before timer's up. Let's begin. Time's up. Have you locked in your answer? Now let's go through the solution together, and you will be amazed how simple it is to solve it. When 2 children sit on a seesaw, weight is applied on both sides. A seesaw balances when the weight and the distance on both sides create equal force, called torque. Since the heavier child weighs twice as much, the lighter child must sit twice as far to balance the seesaw, keeping the torque equal on both sides. Since the heavier child sits 70 inches from the center, it means that the lighter child should sit 140 inches away to balance the seesaw, and the correct answer here is choice C, 140 inches. Here's the brain booster for your engineering brain. Practicing regularly isn't just good, it's transformational. Let's tackle this question and level up your abilities to make you shine. A solid cube is floating in a container of water. If the cube is replaced by another cube of the same size but greater density, what will happen to the water level in the container? Your choices for the answers are choice A, level will increase, choice B, level will decrease, choice C, level will stay the same, and choice D, depends on the material. Remember, we're enhancing your skills here to make your abilities shine, and you need to solve this question yourself. And just like on the real test, I'll set the timer for you to solve this. Make sure to lock in your answer before timer's up. Let's begin. Time's up. Have you locked in your answer? Now let's go through the solution together, and you'll be amazed how simple it is to solve it. To answer this question, we need to understand the physics behind it. The amount of water displaced depends on whether the cube floats or sinks. In the first container, lesser density cube floats, and the floating objects displace their weight in water, partially submerging. We know that the second cube is higher density, so it will submerge deeper or fully submerge. So this is how we're gonna solve it. The first cube floats, so it displaces only enough water to balance its weight. The second, denser cube sinks, just because it's heavier. And the second cube will displace more water because its entire volume is submerged. Or, I guess, submerged deeper than the first cube. Now let's look at the original water level. You see, when cube floats, it's at a certain level. Now the second cube is heavier because it's higher density. As it's submerged deeper, the water level rises. Which means that the correct answer here is choice A, water level increases. But wait, are you ready to practice your skills? Try this question to see how you would do. A solid cube is fully submerged but still floating in a container of water. If the cube is replaced by another cube of the same size but greater density, what will happen to the water level in the container? And your choices for the answers are choice A, increase, choice B, decrease, choice C, stay the same, and choice D, depends on the material. When you're confident in your answer, post it in comments and I'll share my feedback. Good luck with this fun challenge. This is one of the most exciting questions because it allows you to test your analytical skills and understanding of physics. You need to determine which fan throws more air if all the fans rotate at the same speed. The choices are fan A, fan B, fan C, and last but not least, choice D, neither fan. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might be well aware, there are two key factors to help determine the airflow rate. The first one is the size of the fan's blade, and the second one is rotational speed of the fan, which is measured in RPMs, which stands for revolution per minute. A fan with the larger blades can capture and move more air per revolution compared to the same fan design with the smaller blades. And this is exactly what we're dealing with here in this question. In addition, the rotational speed of the fan affects the airflow design. The higher RPM generally results in a higher airflow rate as the fan blades are able to move through the air at the faster rate. As you can see here, the fans A, B, and C all have the same design. This is why, given the fact that three fans have the same design but different sizes, the fan with the largest size will throw more air compared to the smaller fans. This is why the correct answer here is choice C. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please share your answer and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question which tests your knowledge of objects, their properties, and the way they move from the top of the hill down to the ground. You're presented with three different objects, and you need to determine which object will reach ground first when pushed to slide from the top of the hill. You have four possible choices to select from. Choice A, wheel. Choice B, wooden box. Choice C, sticky substance. And last but not least, choice D, they all reach the ground at the same time. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. On my end, I have my selection, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To determine the answer, let's look at each object individually. This will help us decide all the considerations related to their sliding from the top of the hill down to the ground. Let's start with the cube. Cube's shape may cause it to experience higher levels of friction against the slide, slowing its descent. But at the same time, sticky substance may move even slower, because the behavior of sticky substance will largely depend on its viscosity and adhesive properties. If the substance is highly viscous and adheres strongly to the slide, it may experience significant resistance and it will take much longer for it to reach the ground. In some scenarios, depending upon viscosity, the sticky substance may never reach the ground at all. Based on this, I think most likely sticky substance will be the slowest in reaching down the bottom of the slide, followed by the cube, which would be second in the sliding down. So, as you might have guessed, I am putting my bets on the wheel. I think wheel's rolling motion will help reduce friction with the slide, allowing wheel to move more smoothly. This is why the wheel may reach the ground faster than all other objects. This is why I think the correct answer is choice A, wheel, because the wheel will roll and will have minimum friction to reach the ground. Did you come to the different conclusion? If yes, please make sure to post your answer, solution and rationale in comments so we can all learn. Here's an amazing question to see how well you know the tools. You're presented with 5 tools and you need to match the tool with the task performed. Choice 1. Tool is used for making curved cuts in various materials. Choice 2 is used to loosen or tighten plumbing pipes. Choice 3 used to apply sparkle or correction putty. Choice 4 is used to apply lubrication to gears and machinery. And last but not least, choice 5 is used for cutting down trees, trimming branches, and processing woods. And you need to match this description with choices A, B, C, D, and E. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? I think I'm ready on my end, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Let's start with the choice 1. I believe the description for choice 1 is a jigsaw. Jigsaw is a handheld power tool equipped with the reciprocating blade used for making intricate curved cuts in the materials such as wood, metal, or plastic. And description 1 matches image B. I think choice 2 matches the pipe wrench. And a pipe wrench is a specialized hand tool used for gripping and turning plumbing pipes to tighten or loosen them during installation or repair. As you might have guessed, description 2 matches the image E. I think description 3 matches putty knife. And the putty knife is a flat, flexible tool, often with a metal blade used for applying and smoothing substances like spackle, correction putty, or paint on surfaces. And description 3 matches choice C. I think choice 4 is a grease gun. A grease gun is a handheld device designed for applying lubricating grease to machinery, gears, or bearings to reduce friction or maintain proper functioning. And last but not least, description 5 resembles a chainsaw. Chainsaw is a portable mechanical saw with a rotating chain of sharp teeth, commonly used for felling trees, cutting branches, and processing wood in forestry, construction, or landscaping. You can see grease gun matching image A and chainsaw matching image D. Did you come up with any other conclusions? Or maybe have some other thoughts about this question? Please make sure to post your feedback and rationale in comments so we can all learn. Here's an amazing question to test your knowledge of mechanical movement of objects. You're presented with the picture of person moving the object, and you need to determine if all objects weigh the same, which one will be easiest to move forward if the same person is pushing with equal force. You need to select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, person moving forward a cube. Choice B, person moving forward a hexagon. Choice C, person moving forward a ball. And last but not least is neither one. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Let's analyze all shapes individually to better understand the answer. Let's start with the cube. Cube typically has a symmetrical weight distribution, which can contribute to its stability when moving on the ground. However, due to its edges and corners, a cube can experience higher levels of friction when compared to objects with rounded shapes and will be hard to roll. Most likely way of moving the cube forward would be pushing it, which will create a lot of resistance. Now let's look at the hexagon. Hexagon has 6 sides, and the shape can vary depending upon the specific dimensions and proportions. Compared to a cube, a hexagon generally has fewer edges and corners, which reduces the friction and makes it easier to move on the ground by rolling. Even though it might be easier to move than the cube, the ease of movement will also depend on the specific dimensions and weight distribution of the hexagon. Which brings us to choice C, sphere or ball, which typically has a smooth surface. The absence of edges and corners reduces the contact area with the ground, which results in a lower friction. This makes it easier to move the ball forward by rolling on the ground, compared to objects with edges or corners. This is why choice C is correct. It will have minimum friction
and will facilitate smooth movement with minimum resistance.
To solve this question, we need to remember the spirit of Oprah Winfrey, who famously said, "Challenges are gifts that force us to search for the new center of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to stand." Let's embrace the challenge presented in this question, viewing them as opportunities to discover innovative solutions and approaches. You need to determine how submerged pencil will look in the glass of water. You're presented with 3 visual choices. Choices A, B, and C. And then there's the last choice D, neither. Do you think you know the answer? Well, just like a lot of things in life, this question may not be the easiest to solve. But I have full confidence that you have all the required skills and creativity to tackle it. And I know that you definitely will give it a try by pausing this video. Trust in your abilities, and let's explore all possible options together. Let's tackle this problem as a team. Ready to show your answer? I truly hope your answer is correct. But remember that regardless of being correct or not, every attempt, regardless of the outcome, contributes to your personal growth and development. What's cool about this question is that it gives us the opportunity to refresh our knowledge in the concept called refraction. When you put pencil through the water surface, going from substance of air into the substance of water, the light rays passing through the water are reaching your eyes and they undergo the refraction. Transition from air to water causes the angle of incidence to decrease, leading to a change in the angle of refraction, which bends the pencil's appearance due to the differences in refractive indices of air and water. Refraction can cause the pencil to appear bent or broken at the water surface, and to create optical illusions that affect our perception of objects. But what we know for sure is that it's definitely not going to look just like a regular pencil submerged. If you don't believe me, just try this easy-to-conduct experiment for yourself, which means that the correct answer here is choice B. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. To get us on the right track with this question and help you solve it, I would like to quote Nelson Mandela. "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." So let's approach this assessment test question with determination and perseverance, recognizing that each obstacle we overcome brings us closer to success. You're presented with 3 buckets. Buckets are hanging from the strings, and you need to determine which bucket is the heaviest if all buckets are fixed to equal lengths flexible string. You have 4 choices. Choices are A, B, C, and last but not least, choice D, neither. The only thing obvious here is that this question may seem daunting at first, but I know you have the skills and creativity to tackle it. Trust in your abilities, and let's explore all possible solutions together. Let's tackle it as a team. Are you ready to show your answer? I have no doubts that together we will decode this tough question, and I hope you did give it a try. Remember that every attempt, regardless of the outcome, contributes to your growth and development. To get to the answer, let's first look at the question in more details. We have 3 buckets. Each bucket is connected to the string connectors with the string of the same length. All string connectors are on the same string line, and what we can visually see is that bucket A is in the highest position, bucket B is a little bit lower, and the bucket C is in the lowest position. What does it tell us? What we know from physics is that when multiple objects are suspended from the flexible string, they will settle into the state of equilibrium. In the state of equilibrium, the tension in the string will be equal at all points along its length. However, due to the differences in weight, the heavier bucket will exert a greater downward force on the string compared to the lighter buckets. As a result, the heavier bucket will cause more tension in the string, causing it to sag lower compared to the lighter buckets. This visual cue of the lower position of the bucket C can give you an impression that the bucket C is heavier, even though it may or may not be the case in the reality. But here's the caveat. This would only be true if the distance between string connectors would be the same. This introduces another consideration here, because distance A for the bucket A is greater than distance B, which is greater than distance C for the bucket C. Because the distance shortens between the string connectors, and distance A is greater than distance B, which is greater than distance C, this might explain why bucket B and bucket C is lower still. But it becomes obvious that because the distance between connector shortening, it's impossible to determine which bucket is the heaviest, since shortening of the distance from A to C can explain lower positioning of the bucket, even if buckets would have the same weight. Think about it, because it's very logical. Even if the buckets would be of the same weight, by shortening the distance between string connectors, you will be able to lower the bucket. Based on this, I can conclude that the correct answer here is choice D, neither. But this question is not as obvious. Do you have different considerations? Please make sure to share your thoughts and rationale in comments so we can all learn. But wait, are you ready to practice your skills? Try this question to see how you would do. A conveyor belt in an automated sorting system is experiencing intermittent slowdowns and occasional halts. Diagnostics show that the motor driving the belt is frequently overheating and shutting down. What is the most likely cause for this issue? Your choices for the answers are: choice A, worn out motor bearings; choice B, electrical signal interference; choice C, conveyor belt misalignment; and choice D, insufficient lubrication of the motor. Once you're confident in your answer, share it in comments and I'll provide my feedback. Best of luck with this exciting and intriguing question.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.